Hey guys, welcome to this video. Today we are going to learn a very interesting thing, how to add CSS to an HTML element with JavaScript, okay? So it is very easy and we just need the element that we want to apply CSS, select it with JavaScript and apply some JavaScript rules, okay? So let's first create a paragraph here. Uh, I will have some CSS applied. I put this text on this element and I will set an ID of my paragraph. Okay, so this is all we need in our HTML. Now let's change the file to our scripts and we can open that HTML on our browser just to see the progress that we are going to have with our JavaScript, okay? So here first, let's select that element. I will create a variable with a keyword selector. You can use the method you want. We have get element by ID, keyword selector all. It doesn't matter. We just need the element, okay? So I will insert here my ID that is my paragraph, okay? And now that we have the element selected, we can log it in our console, and you will see here in the console tab that the element is printed, okay? So this means that we have access to that element. And we have two ways to add CSS with JavaScript. We have the way to add one property, okay, one CSS rule, or one or more properties. Okay, so we are going to learn the two ways we have. Well, the first one is get the element, okay, and access the style property. And this style property has all the properties we have in the CSS, like color. So if we want to change our element color, we just need to access these two properties and set a value that we want. So here I am setting the red color to our paragraph. And if we see here, we will have this color applied. And if we want some rule that has two words like background color, we can apply with camel case like this, background, and the second word is with the first letter capitalized, background color, okay, because JavaScript is case sensitive, so we need to write, you need to write as I am writing here, okay, so if you don't write like this, it will not work, okay, and we can put some color like 000, that this means black. So if you see now, our element here has the background color applied and the color applied, okay? So this is the way we have to add rule by rule. But if we want to apply more than one rule, okay, we will access the same style property, but here we access another property called CSS text, okay? And we can write some string with the rules we want, like this. Color blue, okay, we put the property name column, the value, okay, like in the CSS, and we can put in the same line here, but for reading it's better to put the same column here, the plus symbol, that means string concatenation, okay, and in another line we'll put the second rule, okay. This is more readable. So now you can put the background color, and here in the CSS text property, we write the property as we write in the CSS, okay? So we don't need to write like this. This will not work here. Here we write like CSS rules, and we can apply some color here, like yellow, okay, and we put again the same column, okay, plus another rule, and we can keep adding the quantity of rules we want, okay. So I want to place a border in our element. You can define the width, the style of the border, and also the color, and we can continue by now setting a padding of 20 pixels, and that's it. So I will end here. You can place also a semicolon to end the JavaScript line, okay? And this will add all these rules to our element, and we can see the result here in our browser. So all the rules we added after our first two rules overwritten our first rules, because this is like CSS, okay? We have that rules defined, but we have new rules after the first one, so these two were overwritten, okay? And if you think about the CSS way to apply the CSS, it's like we are adding CSS on a style sheet, okay? Because to be the cascade effect that the last rules overwrite the first rules, okay? So here is important to know that we are adding CSS to the element and not to a style sheet. So it's considered inline CSS. You can see here. If we inspect the element, we will see all the properties added to an attribute called style, that we can also add this attribute in our HTML. We can add by writing here in our HTML element style, maybe margin 20 pixels. Okay, so I am adding a rule here that will be overridden by this JavaScript, but if we comment out these rules, we will see that I have this style applied. This is the same thing that JavaScript does in the background, okay? But it also overrides the rule I have added here in my HTML. So we usually don't do this. We write CSS in another file, in a CSS file, but you need to know this because it can mess with your project, okay? So guys, this is how you can add CSS with JavaScript. We just need to select the element by any method you want and add value to that two properties we have, or the style itself with some property of CSS, okay? Pay attention on properties that have more than one word, okay? And you can also use this way here that we send or write a string and insert the number of properties that you want, okay? So hope you enjoyed the video. This is it for today. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This is very important to me. And also like this video to reach more people so they can learn about this resource that we have learned today. Okay, so see you in the next class.